Hey, what's happening out there? We're back at it after taking a week off. Yeah, did a bit of a lecture for the University of Guelph, and it went okay. I got a recording, I got to kind of pour through that, so that's what I was up to last week. And glad to have you guys here with me, and I think we're just going to keep on marching with the mid-century modern project that I've been kind of working on with these sessions. So this will be episode number 6, and so far so good. I mean, it's a lot to do these every week, I would say, but I think we'll follow through with the kind of 10 episodes and then, sort that out. So, yeah, let's get to it and start in. I think where I'll start today is with go back to our layout file and keep plugging away at our proposed conditions. So, Steven, what's happening? Glad to have you here. So let's hop in. Let's open the files. Just kind of take a look at where we're at again and remind ourselves here. So I'm going to go to Open and go to my Content, BD Live, and we have our Mid-Century Modern Edition. All right. So this is under BD Live number 6. So I copied the project files. So basically what I do is I archive them in episode 5, copy them back over into episode 6 here. And so this way we kind of have a running record of where we're at. So if I open up the existing conditions, you can see that, last time I believe we were kind of working with the flex tools, those dynamic components, getting these getting these dynamic doors and windows in there, which have like some better 2D graphics and 3D objects and this and that. And then over here in layout, if I open from our project files from 06, we really are only on our, this was a little bit of a mess when I took a real quick look at it here before we got started today. And so on this one, it's really kind of not in great shape. So let's just clean this one up a little bit first. All right, so let's see. All right, so our existing conditions, I've got a bunch of pages, and I do remember I was just kind of like, adding pages just to kind of like save, almost like an archive within the file, just to have like a copy of where I was at, all right? So like, we can name these pages right now. Let's just name them based on what it is regarding the files or where I'm getting this plan from, not necessarily like what it would be if I were, creating this presentation. For instance, this first one is, let's just call this like everything. And we'll start there. So, or, we'll call this like our archive. Archive like that. And then we'll go over here to page 2, and this one is going to be our SketchUp model. So I'll say this is like existing conditions SketchUp model, like that. And this one is, now this is getting more into like what I want. Yeah, so this is our demolition plan, like that. All right. And I think this one has on the backgrounds, that would make sense to have, this is existing conditions from our SketchUp model, because when I select this, I can kind of tell because the 2D graphics aren't quite as good. And yeah, so that's our SketchUp model. Here's our demolition plan. And up next, I believe this is an empty page. This page, I believe this is where I was kind of leaving off. So like, this is where I was getting at that we're going to need to add in our proposed conditions. So kind of draft on top of this plan what we've got. So let's call, so this is everything. This is our existing conditions, SketchUp model. This is our demolition plan, and this will be proposed conditions. All right, so probably what we would end up doing is like trashing the archive eventually. And I think what I want to do is turn off my backgrounds, and I just want to kind of isolate this stuff. So I'm going to add a page, go back over here. We're going to copy all this, and I'm going to paste it on here, and we're going to call this existing conditions. We'll call it like ConDoc 2D, because that's what we used to create this. So far so good, right? Let's go to our studio view. We got that going? Yeah, that looks good. So I've got my project set up so far the way we want it in layout. It's nice to just kind of keep things organized. And I guess, again, just a reminder with these sessions, the idea is not that I've got like some super scripted direction that I'm going. This is a real project, and we just submitted again. Hopefully, we're going to get through this time. Just a silly little thing like a drainage plan, and I don't know. It's like we're not really messing with the drainage, but they want it. You know how that goes. So anyway, the point is that I don't have like a script. This isn't leading. The only point, the end point that I have for these presentations, these live streams, is that this is a real project, and I'm just going to march through and get to the end where the drawings that I created and submitted. So I'm just going to show you how I get there. Part of that is definitely working with a layout file and then just kind of like saving my work as I go, and so that's what you're seeing here. So when we create like a temporary page called archive, I mean, this wouldn't be part of the set that I turn in, but I just want to know that like I kind of have everything on here, So existing conditions with ConDoc 2D. And I could probably also tighten up this a little bit, like, all this stuff should be on move to layer. I'm going to make another layer called drawings. It's kind of generic. So we're going to add a layer called drawings, and we're going to put all this stuff, move to layer drawings like that. And then this stuff should be on annotations like that. So now you've got like drawings and you've got annotations like that. All right, and then on this page, this is going to be on the layer drawings. And then we could probably just kind of copy this and paste it like that. As far as this goes, I guess I'm kind of changing my mind as I go. Like on the archive, I have a record of the SketchUp model existing conditions. All right. So I really don't need a duplicate page. This is not really of value to me anymore. So really, I'm just going to call this our existing conditions. That would be a plan that I would actually want to include in this little package that I'm making here. Demolition plan is definitely something I'd want to include here. If I turn on my backgrounds, that makes sense on the demolition plan. And if I turn on my backgrounds here, we don't have any. That makes sense. You could argue that the SketchUp model existing conditions could belong, like I could copy these, and if I really wanted to kind of tighten up this set as I go, I could set the active layer to be backgrounds on my existing conditions like this, and then I could paste it to the current layer like that. All right, so now our backgrounds on our existing conditions plan is that SketchUp model. Let me just double check this. Okay, so I can turn off my drawings and I can turn on my backgrounds. So basically what happened there is like the existing conditions drawing originated with the canvas model, and I just kind of like shot this, created these existing conditions drawings real quick, but then I traced them with ConDoc 2D. And so, this would kind of keep a record of it in place underneath our existing conditions, but that would truly be the background. I'd really only want to see my drawings. So there's like a nice clean version of our existing conditions. And then over here is our demolition plan. And the background on that one is showing our kind of sketch. And then we're going to go with our proposed conditions. And on the proposed conditions, this is on our backgrounds, and this stuff, let me see, this is backgrounds, and then this stuff is dashed like that. So that's good. And then this stuff is existing, because on our proposed plan, we're going to need to have some stacked layers. And then the last piece is going to be, we'll just put it on drawings, or, we could just make another layer called proposed. That would be fine. And it's easy enough to kind of like, break these, or, trash these layers and move things around as you need to. So, all right, so that's cool. And so now we can have our backgrounds turned on. And I think for this task, I would turn dashed off, lock that layer, and then let's nudge our annotation out of the way. I can right click and move to layer annotations like that. And so now at this point, I'm ready to start drafting our proposed conditions. And this gets back to a little bit of like, how do we want to show proposed and how do we want to show new? I mean, I think really new walls should be black because they pop more. But the reason I start with existing conditions as all, hatched in is because they do like make a better drawing for tracing over with trace paper, but whatever. So I think on our proposed conditions, I'm going to, I have a vague recollection of like merging this stuff. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna copy all of this stuff and get over to our proposed, and yeah, okay. So these guys haven't been merged. Let me look at this again. See what I'm getting at? Like, these haven't been merged. I probably should have like deleted the merge stuff when I was making my demolition plan. Yeah, let's see. So that's going to, how do I want to do this? All right. So our archive, I think, is no longer of any value. We have all those pieces distributed through the set. I can save it. I also have an archive of the whole file just in case I made some mistake here. The question I'm up against now is like, this stuff is all kind of merged, which makes it really easy to turn off my fill. And so now I want to like copy all these walls, and I'm going to turn off my backgrounds momentarily. I'm going to, I'm just going to delete, I'm going to trash. I kind of need to like recreate the demolition plan, to be honest. Either that, or I need to like merge these walls back together, which I already did. So let me do this. I'm just going to group it for a moment and then paste. And so now what I'm up against is like, yeah, this is going to be fine. So we're going to get rid of all of these walls. So let's just recreate our demolition plan based on this guy. Yeah, I think, when was it? Justin mentioned on a last session he said it's nice to see that, you know, I figure things out as I go. And I mean, it's true. Like, I know where I'm going. I know how to get there. But, like, you know, you got to kind of, like, sort these things out. It takes a lot to really, like, just make a tutorial where everything just falls into place. So hopefully it's of value for you guys to watch me kind of muddle through this. And certainly, you know, throw your questions in the chat. I got my eye on that up there, and I'll be keeping an eye. So anyways, all right, let's do this. So we're going to recreate our demolition plan. So I'm just going to trash this. We're going to hop over here. We're going to copy all of this back over to here. Dashed is locked. I'm going to paste. We're going to paste to current layer existing. And then I'm going to kind of recreate our our demolition plan, you know, by trashing these things, and see as I delete or demolish a wall or demolish a window, we can see those things go away. So I can delete that, and you know, as I'm trashing this stuff, it leaves behind the dashed lines. So then I can like select that, scoot it over there. We're going to trash all of this. So, you know, with layout, recently I've been kind of investigating, like, man, what would be the best way for layout to really work? And I do wish that they had some more powerful drafting type tools where, like right here, you know, I wish I had like a trim and fillet, and you know, it's really unfortunate that I have to like draw a line, you know, from here to here, and then I have to like split this, delete it, and then I have to like, you know, move these points around in such a way that, I don't know. And you know what, I take that back. We're not going to delete that wall all the way. So let's do this. We're going to trash this wall like that. And then we're going to trash this wall like that. All right. And I have a feeling there might be an opportunity to like reuse our existing between demolition plan and proposed plan and all that. So we'll see. All right, so we've recreated our demolition plan, and when I look at my backgrounds here, so now what we can do is I'm just gonna copy this text here, and we're going to trash this page. The reason I'm trashing this page is because these are all separate pieces. We're going to kill it. We're going to duplicate it. We're going to rename it proposed conditions. And now on our proposed conditions, we can select our walls and turn the fill. You know, we can either turn it off or set the fill to white like that. And you can see here there's, oh, that's that one little edge that I, you know, kind of drew and didn't delete. And this way now when I add my new walls, by tracing our background here, we can then fill them in black. So new walls are hatched in black, and existing walls will just be 2 lines or hatched white, I guess. I'll nudge this out of the way, and all right, so let's start chipping away here. So we're going to fill in some new walls. All right, so then I can use just my rectangle tool. I tap S, and I can sample the shape style settings of these walls. So I can tell you that, like, you really never want to be messing around in the layout inspectors. Really in SketchUp or layout, the more time you're spending in any of the trays or inspectors or the dialogues, that's where your time is wasted. If you can get around that with keyboard shortcuts or just like sampling, that's definitely ideal. So like for me, if I tap the rectangle tool, and I now have, you know, when I'm drawing a rectangle, I have settings in our shape style, and you know, then the shape style like fill color is controlled in the colors dialog, and that's kind of it there. Okay, so you don't ever want to be messing around in there. You just want to like activate your rectangle tool, tap S, and then sample. And then we're going to set our fill, which has that little black rim around it. We're going to set that to black. And we're going to build a new wall right here, like that. All right, and then eventually we're going to, you know, when we're finished drafting this, we're going to get rid of our sketch in the background. So you can see that our existing walls are just kind of 2 lines or hatched white or no hatch. And then our new walls are going to be filled in black, so they really punch on the drawing. All right, cool. So we'll turn on our backgrounds again, and we're going to need to demolish a little bit more of this wall here. We'll get there. And then I guess a good question is like, you know, is this wall, is it worth leaving it, or is it easier just to trash it? I kind of lean towards it's probably easier just to trash it, so we'll leave that alone. I can tell you that we're going to need a new wall going like this, so I'm just going to draw that line in there and then stretch this piece down there. All right, and then, you know, and for this plan, like at this stage of design, I'm not being extremely accurate. Like I already drew the, you know, I used the T-square and scale to make that sketch. Now I can start to kind of, you know, dial it in a little bit. So I want to maybe use some clean numbers, but I don't have to be absolutely perfect, because when this gets into SketchUp, then I'm really going to dial it in. All right, so this is where I could, like, you know, make this into a group. And then I could assign a scale to the group of like 1/4 inch. And then I could double click in, and, you know, I'd use like my line tool to measure from here to here. And I'm looking in the, you know, bottom right corner of my screen. It's, you know, 65 3/4 inch. So that would be a good question. Maybe like, you know, under document setup and then units. I wonder if we should set that to be in feet. I mean, it gets kind of weird, right? Fractional feet. That doesn't want to do that. Fractional. That's okay. Let's just stick with it. Basically, we need some more features in layout. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on that, but it's like, I know you do. We need so much more in layout. It's painful. Like the lacking, like to me, one of the biggest missed opportunities that I've ever seen is the lack of development on layout. And I'm not saying that, you know, that nobody's working on it, or that the folks over there aren't trying hard and clever and doing good things, but it's just simply not enough. And it's been like, you know, 15 years of just not enough. And I just can't believe that somebody hasn't looked at this program and said that this is like such a huge opportunity to make this into a proper drafting program. And just give us a couple little tools, just pull from the CAD playbook and just make it work, you know, the way that it should. It's just unbelievable, man. Hey, there's John Brock. I knew I'd get somebody chiming in on that one. All right. Yeah, I won't go too far off on that, but it's really frustrating that like I'm measuring something with the line tool inside of a scale drawing group, and the results I'm getting are in inches, and then I'm fumbling around and I'm, you know, not able to like switch over to the units I really want. But maybe I'm missing something. I'm moving fast, whatever. All right, so then I can like stretch this and call it like, you know, 5 feet, enter, or 6 feet, enter, so you can start to like, you know, dial in the precise dimensions. I can move my precise move grip, hold control, and then, you know, scoot this stuff around like that, and just start like, you know, sorting out these dimensions in a clean way. So That's what I'm gonna do. And you know, I'm looking for like, what are like the known pieces that I'm gonna be playing off of. So, you know, if I go with something like this, I guess, you know, I would need to like kind of follow this wall right here, like this, you know. So I don't, you know, this is gonna be one of those like notes where you say align. I don't want to dimension this. I just want to align. And so make sure I'm playing off of that wall. And then I just drew this wall outside of the group so I can cut it, double click in and paste. And now that wall is part of a scaled drawing. And so then, you know, now this is where I'd say, okay, well, how far is that? Well, this little, you know, toilet closet or whatever you want to call it is, you know, at least 3 feet, if not, you know, maybe 4 feet or 42 inches, enter. All right, so we'll just start there. And then I'll make a copy of this and then scoot this up like that. And then let's do this. And then I'm gonna like, I'll just leave, oh man, 3 inches. John, I think we're working on this. What should I leave? What is the dimension I should leave between the wall and the door? I'm gonna call it 3 inches and then get scolded by John. Let's see, I'm gonna invert that. We're gonna call this like 30 inches or minus 30 inches, like that. And I'm gonna say minus 32 inches, give it a little bit more space. And then 4.5 inches, aha. If somebody would just make a presentation about that. All right, so I'm gonna stretch that and call it 4.5 inches, enter. All right, so now, you know, from here to here is reading 4.5 inches at the very bottom of my screen. All right, and then I'm gonna scoot this guy over like this, and then I'm gonna move it back by 32 inches, enter, like that, and then shore up this side. All right, and so like at this stage, it is nice to dial it in. I mean, you don't have to be absolutely precise, but you know, the more precise you are, it's going to trickle down through the process. And you know, when we get into SketchUp, you're going to be able to snap to these points and then get you know, clean numbers. And so you type it in once. So yeah, John, 3 2x gives us room for wide casing. So you can do 3-inch, but you may have to rip the casing, and that is a no. Add that to our presentation. Yes, so if you're going to be at SketchUp Basecamp, me and John are going to do a bit of a like designer builder. Basically, I'm going to pick John's brain on all these little things that, like you saw, my instinct was to add 3 inches there, but there's like a logical reason why it should be 4.5. And you know, it's like if you need to do 3, do 3. But like John's saying, it just makes it easier for the guys in the field when it comes time to build. It makes a better final result when you get the full casing. So that's what our Bridging the Gap presentation will be about. Basecamp coming up in a couple weeks. And I believe we're going to record that one. So we will have that, like, either we're going to record it there, which is not a promise, or we're going to record it beforehand. And that I believe we can do no matter what. So, and then I think SketchUp might be sharing that. They might be sharing it. Depends on if they're watching this live stream and hearing me griping about things. So that looks pretty good. So that's clean. And as far as the wall thickness too, you know, I just matched whatever, essentially that's whatever Canvas came up with. I'm going to stretch that and call it 3.5 inches, enter. And then we're going to stretch this one down the same. And then this would be like 4 inch. I mean, this is where it's like maybe questionable at this stage of design what I'm drafting, because the existing scan, technically that wall should be like 4.5, and it is. And I might have done that. This wall is at 6.5, being a plumbing wall. All right. The reason this would be at 4.5 is because when we scanned it, it has, you know, the drywall on it, the gyp on it. And so our new walls, though, we're going to want to, this would be a good question, you know, like typically I would call this like 3.5, but I almost lean towards calling it 4, because this is going to align with the jip on this side, but then we want to dimension the stud on this side. I don't know. That's something I'd have to think about, but right now it's not like absolutely critical. I don't love the idea of having a 4-inch wall and then 3.5, but you know, we're going to tighten it all up inside of SketchUp anyway, so let's ride with it. And let me just double check this dimension from here to here. Like, we need this to be 42 inches like that, and that is all right. Let's stretch that. Okay, and then when I draw a line from here to here, yeah, we're good. Okay, very good. All right, and when I turn off my background, so you can start to see how this is coming together. One other little tweak I would make to this plan, like you've got your demolition plan and the dashed is in a solid black. Well, when I get to my proposed conditions, I might want the dashed. I can select the entities and then change my stroke color to be like a 50% gray, like that. So it's not so strong. And then I can turn my background, well, that gives you the idea of how that's going to look. And I might even go lighter. You know, I might print it once and see how that's going to work. Like if I select all entities on dashed again, and maybe this is still, you know, selected, so I can go even lighter like that. You know, that might even be better, because really on the proposed conditions, we just want like a nice, you know, like we don't want that competing. But something we can continue to think about. I'm going to lock my dashed, save this, and let's keep on rolling here. All right, so now like, let's see. We're going to, I'm going to stretch this wall out to here, and then I'm going to make a copy of it at like -8 inches, like that. Let's say -12 inches, -12 inches. Oh boy. All right, so we'll scoot this over here, and then we're going to scale this down to 8 inches, and then let's try it again. Let's say 12 inches, something like that. I guess what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like keeping an eye on, you know, my sketch, but, you know, -3 feet, enter, like that, and then kind of flip it, and, you know, trying to keep an eye on my sketch, but also type in some clean dimensions. All right, so over here now, I might like make a copy of this to here, and then if I shift an arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, shift an arrow key gives me a 1/4 inch nudge. So now, you know, we're up at 60 inches in there, and that's probably about right. For the washer and dryer, which on this version we're entering, you know, we put the washer and dryer in the inside of the master bedroom, and that's fine. I know for sure that changed along the way, but I think the point of this is to like work with this sketch as it is, and then we'll make those changes as well, so I can just kind of tell you how this project went along. All right, so now I would call this like, you know, 4.5 inches, enter, and then I would like, you know, -48 inches, and then, you know, -4.5 inches, enter. So that would be like, you know, we can get rid of that, and then perhaps we could like make a copy of this. And what is our line tool again? So this guy is a 4-inch wall. So these would be more of like a 3.5-inch wall. I'm just gonna stick with that idea, 3.5 inches like that, and then 3.5 inches like that, and then snap to here, and then stretch this out like that. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I guess the idea, the way I'm working right this second, is when we're aligning with other walls, we're kind of incorporating our gypboard, since that's what Canvas would have scanned to. But on a truly new wall, we're just gonna call it a stud, 3.5 inches like that. And then this will take our 4.5, and I'll make a copy of it straight down like that. And then we can again pull our let's see, stretch this, tap, hold control, minus 32 inches, enter. We're gonna call it 32-inch doors, and then stretch this around like that. All right, save as I go, and that looks good. And Sheik, how's it going? Glad to have you here, man. Let's see. So now we're gonna like copy that. So minus 36 inches, enter. We're gonna do full-sized 36-inch doors out here, right? So 36, and then I'll just stretch this to the end, and we can kind of snap it here. Use our rectangle tool and, you know, match those dimensions and kind of slide that down there. And that's looking pretty good. So again, we can turn off our backgrounds, and you can really start to see how this plan's coming together. You know, just a reminder, I'm sure I talked about this before, but the reason that I work in layout this way is that it takes so much more effort to make this plan in SketchUp, like to turn this model into a ConDoc model that's like perfectly organized, where I've built all those walls and added all those doors. That takes a ton of effort to do that. Whereas if I just get this done in layout, I can present this concept to the client, and then we can start moving things around with low commitment. You know, like, are we on the right track? You know, it's so much faster to just kind of scoot things around in layout and say like, oh, you know, you want the laundry room to be accessed from out here. Like, no problem. You know, I can just do that. Like, it's so much faster to just get this stuff done in layout than it is to like make that change and get that sorted out in SketchUp. Would take quite a bit, you know. And I can do it, and I'm fast. It's just, this is infinitely faster in my opinion. And, you know, once things get signed off, then you move into SketchUp and sort it all out, and, you know, kind of like slowly building up, you know, your commitment to the 3D model and how much work you're actually going to put in up front. All right, turn on our backgrounds again, and, you know, so now here we have a hallway, and I can make a copy of this. Although I know this this hallway, I think we're gonna make it like 1, 2, 3, 4. We're kind of going wider on everything around here. We're gonna stretch this. I'm gonna call it like 28 inches, and then we're gonna make a copy of this at minus 32 inches like that, and then we're gonna like fold it inside out at minus 28 inches like that. And then we can like rotate, we're gonna move our precise move grip and then rotate 90, and then this one kind of stretches all the way to the end. That's a little bit goofy that, you know, we're hitting on that window there, but we're gonna leave it like that for now because like I said, you know, some of this stuff did get sorted out, but you know, I don't know, you know, we could also like nudge it 2 more feet, whatever. We'll do a hybrid. I mean, that's fine. you know, definitely you wouldn't want to build up on the window like that. And we're just kind of getting away from our sketch just a notch. And so that all looks good. We got to get some windows in here as well. And so, you know, for this, I might turn off my backgrounds, hop back into my ConDoc 2D scrapbook. And like on the first page, we have these windows. So, you know, you can pull like a, you know, a 2-foot window or a 3-foot window like this, and then just snap that into place. And, you know, we could rotate by 90 and snap that into place. And then you could like double click in and like scale these, say like 5 feet, or we could say like 2.5 feet, and then make a copy of it. And you could do something like that, you know, if it's going to be something more like that. So we'll scale it by 2.5 feet and just do the same thing over here, like that. And that looks good. And then we can also grab like a 3-foot door, and you know, we could right click and flip it left to right, snap that into place like this. And we'll make a copy of it over to here and then flip it left to right like that. So that's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's okay. You know, it's fine. I'm not going to get all hung up on being too precise here. I guess whatever. We'll keep going with it. So we could scoot that over and then do like our 4.5 again. So 4.5. Okay, so this one I need to double click in and then move it 4.5 inches, enter. All these scrapbooks over here, these are all scale drawings. So, you know, if you double click in, you're working at a 1/4 inch, whereas if you're out here, you're working on paper space. But, you know, no big deal. We can just snap to, you know, what we got like that. So that looks pretty good. We could move down the line here and find like a king bed, throw that in like that. And then we have like you know, a big nightstand or a small nightstand. And, you know, these are just kind of generic sizes. Maybe we'll like, can't we do something like this and hold Alt and go -1? You see that move? That's how you mirror in layout. I'll do it again. You select this, you set the precise move grip on the center point, or the mirror point essentially, and then you scale it like this, and you hold Alt and Control, and then you scale it to -1, and you can type -1 just to be sure, like that. That'll get you a flip. And then we can take these, we could group them, and then we could like, you know, change the stroke color to, you know, something like really grayed out if we want it, or we could keep it black. That's fine. So it's our proposed conditions. We also have like these closet pieces. You know, you can easily put those in like that. You can snap to those lines. Kind of handy. Double click in, and usually I just like scale the whole thing just to kind of get it close. And so, you know I've touched on it, but it's like, you know, this isn't meant to be perfection. You just want to like lay it out and quickly communicate the proposed design, and then get the buy-in, and then move on to building out in SketchUp. Let's find some more stuff here to work with. We got like a vanity, and I got to turn on my layers again. Let's see. Background. So yeah, this one, yeah, this was an early concept. So we're going to put our vanity right here, and you know, maybe I'll stretch this stuff, you know, match that wall, and just kind of nudge this over a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then we can grab like this one. Yeah, this was an early concept. There's no shower in here. This is kind of a goofy one, so that's okay. we'll just assume that, you know, they're gonna go with like a kind of a simple tub. So we'll draw like a wall here, like that, stretch that out. And maybe like, you know, if this wasn't like a full wall, maybe I would change that to be like, actually, yeah, not the stroke color, but the fill color. We could kind of like make it a gray. It's like a stem wall, half wall. And instead of a tub, I think they would want a shower there. So let's just kind of like make that assumption that, you know, perhaps we'd do something like this and like this and like that. And then I'd like, you know, I'll just kind of stretch all this around like that. And for this, you know, we can like make it close and then go like that, and then move this guy so that it snaps. Yeah, what was it? There was like a this is one of those little things that I came across. I made a video on this. I think it was called like, dude, where's my inference? And it's new in layout 24, where it's like I'm trying to get like a center point to snap and it's really not working. But there's like this little thing that came across where like right now I'm trying to get this circle to snap here. And when I move it, you know, it's like they kind of remove some of those snaps that I was used to. It won't snap to that triangle. Well, what you can do is you can tap Alt and it gets rid of the precise move grip. And now you can hover and you can get the center point of that circle, and that you can get your snap. And so, you know, like, because otherwise, if you're trying, you know, if you move this and then you like get that center point, it jumps to the precise move grip. Where if you just tap Alt, I guess like tapping Alt doesn't necessarily hide the precise move grip. It like takes it out of the equation more than hiding it. And then you can like do that and, you know, maybe nudge it around, make it look right. Oh, actually it would go like that. Good enough. All right. Maybe, you know, if you really want to get with this, maybe I would take this and like nudge it that way. And then I would like split, let's see, these guys, we can like split these, and then we can join the two like this, and then we can kill the fill, and then this one I'm just going to stretch it to the middle there, and then stretch to the middle there, and then the circle I'm going to arrange and bring it to the front, and that circle has a fill, so you know, you can kind of like draft the symbol you want in layout. Yeah, the shower, you know, maybe this is just a little bit goofy, but who cares, right? Let's go like this. Get it sorted out like that. And let's try that again. Like that. And we'll just nudge that. Yeah. All right. So again, we can just kind of check in, turn off our backgrounds, and you can see that, you know, as far as proposed conditions, that's coming along pretty okay. We could find some more bathroom stuff, like a toilet we can throw in there. Rotate that by 90. You know, sometimes when I'm like trying to center something, I might just like make a copy of it down to here and then type 2 divided by enter. And that way we get a nice centered, you know, perfectly in the room. I suppose another way to do that would be to draw a guideline. So you could draw like if it was a funny dimension, and then you could just rotate it because it's always going to rotate perfectly about the center. And now you've got like a guideline that you could use. So I've kind of done it that way too. But you know, back to what I was saying, it's like, I mean, these are all workarounds, you know? I'm just getting by, and it works. It does. And I do like it. I'm just so damn frustrated that it isn't better. Like, what a missed opportunity to not give us, like, all the proper tools that are included in all these other programs. I mean, I don't know, maybe it would like bloat layout, but I think that some of these little tools and features pulled straight from like a CAD playbook would make a ton of sense. So, all right, now we'll go over here and grab like a 32-inch door like this and flip it left to right and then snap that into place. And then we could make a copy of this door. We can rotate it up by, yeah, I'm getting all those inferences, so say 90, like that. And that looks pretty decent. And then we've got some other doors, like a 48-inch door, like this, and then rotate, and then snap that into place, like that. And I believe we do have like a washer and dryer as well. So like a washer and 90, let's see, rotate this 90 like that, and then get our dryer in there as well like that. And that looks pretty decent. Not the most efficient use of space, but rest assured that's not what we landed on. Maybe even over here I would like, double click or make a copy of that, rotate it by 90, and then kind of get that into place like this, and then double click in, and we could like trash some of these and then scale the rest to kind of get them to fit in a similar way like that. And yeah, this is coming along. So save that. So got a shower, door in, we got one big closet. Yeah, not right. And then so let's just get some windows in, and maybe we'll throw in like a fireplace. Do something like this, and then slide that straight down. And so we'll kind of call this, if I cut this and jump into our walls and then hold Alt to scale about the center, we could call it like 5 feet. Like, this is a weird thing, 2.5 feet like that. That gets us, when we're scaling, a clean 5 feet like that. All right, so then like 3-foot windows over here. So like a 36-inch. We can't put a scale drawing into a scale drawing, so I'll back out of that and just throw this 3-foot window in there like that. And then rotate by 90, and then scoot it like that. And then perhaps I would make a copy like that. And then maybe we'll do our mirror again. I'm gonna move my precise move grip, and then and you know what? You can't scale a scale drawing. You can't like distort a scale drawing. But what you can do is double click in and distort the geometry within. So now I can like hold Alt and Control and scale it about the center. And I can just kind of throw it down there and type minus, -1, enter, like that. So you get a, kind of a perfect mirror inside of layout, like that. And then fireplace-wise, I don't believe I have a fireplace. And the idea here was that this fireplace would be like indoor, outdoor, like pass through. So to represent that, I guess I would just draw another, like, let's see, if I were just to kind of hollow this, I'll just like trace the whole thing and then, scale it about the center like that. And then I'll just like make a copy of that so so that we have like another one, and then I'll just kind of like pull that in, and maybe that's like a 0.5 line weight. I don't know. I'm not sure how to graphically represent the fireplace. I know I came up with something kind of clever on the original project I did. Maybe you could do like, you know, you could do like a dashed outline or something. I like to make them round and maybe 0.5, so there's a few more dashes at 0.5 like that. So that'd probably do it to kind of represent a fireplace. Cool. All right. And then, you know, as we go through here, like I can just kind of double check. Yeah, this is, oh, we got a package here. Stand by, everyone.
That's okay. I'm like thinking my head in. I just need a signature from you.
All right.
What's your last name?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That was an important one. I got myself a new video camera. So, we didn't want them leaving that outside. All right, so let's see. I was just about to start complaining again. On my screen here, like this, it's not a big deal, but like this is all grayed out. And if I like go to the previous page and then I skip now to this page, it's all as it should be. I don't know if that has to do with the new graphics engine, but I just wish, you know, as far as instilling confidence in the program, perhaps that should be resolved. All right, so we can go to our layers, and I'll turn, let's see, this needs to move to layer annotations. We could add a few more annotations here. This is our ConDoc 2D scrapbook. We'll go to our ConDoc annotations, and then we have like a room name. So, you know, you can throw like some room names in there. That's pretty easy. We could say like closet, you know, bathroom. Not that you can't figure out that that's a bath, but bedroom, like that. So kind of gives you the pieces you need to kind of dial up the just the presentation here. So yeah, right on, John. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah, so I mean that's not bad, right? I don't know what you guys think. I got some pushback on this when I was presenting this idea at the 3D Summit. A lot of folks were, you know, why would you do this in LayOut? And I really, really, truly believe that like to build a 3D model that nets this plan, it would take me at least 5 times as long to get this SketchUp model sorted out and tagged and run ConDoc and do all the things I need to do to get it to look like, you know, to net this plan over here, only to present it to the client and have them make changes. Like, I know that this isn't, you know, this is not like the full end all be all design. This is kind of like our first run at it. You know, I can already see we're missing a door here. Whoops. So let's get that door in there real quick. All right, so I'll jump into my walls. I'm gonna draw a line like this, and then I'm going to spin that line so that we're on a on the center. I'll make a copy at 18 inches, and then we'll do a copy paste 1 2 3, and then we need to split the existing, and we could just kind of get rid of everything at this point like that, and then we can merge like that and like that. So how slick is that? You know, that's how you can demolish that existing wall and then put in a new door, which we should be able to like copy this one up, like this, flip it top to bottom like that, and like that. All right. And if I wanted to, let's say that we were going to go with this, I'll just like rotate this piece 45 degrees, and then I'm going to split that piece out of there like that. All right. Cool. All right. So, like I was saying, I just like talk about a missed opportunity. Like this is, in my opinion, this is truly the missing link in the SketchUp workflow is working in 2D. And I actually saw a post from SketchUp recently about that, like showing how they work in SketchUp in 2D. And I think it's undeniable that like you have to sort out the plan in 2D before you can actually go into 3D. Or at least in my opinion, it's foolish to go into 3D because it takes infinitely longer to scoot things around and explore ideas. So I'm going to stop talking about that. I think I made my point. All right, I'll save this. And so now we've got our, all these, we've got like our pages set up of existing conditions, truly just existing conditions where we could print this out and trace over it very easily. We've got our demolition plan. No matter what happens, that's what's getting demolished. And then we have like a proposed conditions plan. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So, I gotta be honest, I've got a little bit of a problem with our ConDoc tools extension that came up right before I hopped on here. And so I think I'm going to end things, instead of a 2-hour session today, I'm going to stick with just 1 hour. We accomplished something, but I wanted to ask, basically our, something's up with our WordPress site, and not a major issue, but I kind of want to get to that and tinker with it. So I'm curious if there's any questions out there. I'm going to hang for just a minute or two and see if anybody has any major issues or questions or battling, and more than happy to answer those. But otherwise, I think I'm going to save this. The next session I do, we're going to export the PDF of this and pull it into SketchUp and start modeling a true, a true concept. So, and actually, a good way to end this too would be to open our final wagon trail road. I think this is the file. This was more in line. This is the final concept. So again, and I normally wouldn't dimension it like this, but the client asked me to. You can see that I work through A, B, C, D, E, F, was it 6 concepts, and, came up with where we're at here, which, we ended up killing the built-in and scooting the whole thing out another couple feet. But working through all those concepts in 2D was really valuable versus having to model every one of those concepts in 3D. But this is much more in line with much closer to what we actually submitted. So I think what we'll do next time is take this drawing, export it as a PDF, pull it into SketchUp, and away we go. So anyways, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Steven. I hope that was of value. We'll keep on rocking and cutting a little bit short today. Hope you guys don't mind. And thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.